Hello and welcome to another power-packed episode of the Agency Success GPS. I'm your host, Lee Goff, and today I have Liz Germain on my show. Liz Germain is a YouTube channel beast mode, basically. She started a YouTube channel and ran it up to, I want to say, a little shy of a couple of 100,000 subscribers. Started to get some good mailbox money on that, and now she has leveraged that into coaching agencies and other businesses on how to get your YouTube channel set up, customized, and most importantly, driving some really good qualified leads for you guys. So stay tuned. Liz and I discuss how to get your YouTube channel up and going, optimized for leads without spending all of your bloody free time doing it. Great episode. Liz, thank you so much for coming on my podcast today. For those of you who did not listen to the intro, which I don't know how you didn't, it's like right before here, right? So anyway, Liz is a rock star when it comes to YouTube. And as I said in the intro, we're going to talk about how to turn YouTube into a lead generating machine for your agency because it helps with a lot of different things, SEO, all kind of different stuff. So Liz, I'm going to hush up now and please give everyone the elevator spiel on who Liz is.
Oh, sweet. My favorite part. Thank you so much for having
Talking about me. All right.
My name is Liz Germain, and I help people grow and monetize YouTube, and specifically for online businesses, coaches, entrepreneurs, and agencies. And the cool part about YouTube is I actually got into it kind of by accident. I had done everything under the moon. I've been in digital marketing now for almost 10 years. I'd done everything under the moon in my first business, which was a health and fitness business for women. We sold digital products and we had a membership site. And we were doing all the things: Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, email marketing, like literally everything. And there's even more now. There's like TikTok and everything these days too. And I kind of accidentally fell into YouTube when I realized that we were getting the highest return on our investment, even though we spent the least amount of time on it. And so I got really obsessed with the fact that, like, oh, wow, I can do the work once and just have it live there and have it generate leads for me forever. That's awesome. I'm all about working smarter, not necessarily harder. And so, over the last couple of years, I've just transitioned solely into helping support other online businesses with their YouTube marketing strategy. And it's super fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's actually how I found you. It was a couple months ago. We started, I think I reached out to you pre-COVID or whatever, we're getting towards the tail end of the major squashing of the curve here in the COVID thing, if you're listening to this at a future date. And as part of all of this, I have found that I reload, right? So during the 2008, whenever the shit hits the fan, basically, whether it be whatever it is, I reload. And so that's what I did. And so I have a few channels that I needed to beef up, okay? One of them being YouTube, all right? The other one, podcast right here, okay? And so I started researching out there, and I found Liz was all over the damn place, so you're doing a great job. And found your Facebook group. She's got it. What is your Tell everybody your Facebook group so they can get in there. What is that?
Yeah, so the Facebook group is called YouTube Marketing Mastery, and you can find that at facebook.com/group/YouTube VIPs.
Perfect. Okay. And so anyway, that's how this whole thing came to be. That my daughter is interested in a YouTube channel. So I was like, okay, well, now I need to be interested in this stuff. So here we go. Right. So, all right. So Liz, and to everybody else out there, as normal, we always prepare a few questions coming into this. And so Liz today is going to talk to us about 3 core elements of her YouTube mastery program. At the top of the list is YouTube SEO, and then how to create videos, create videos that turn subscribers into buyers, okay? And 3 promo techniques that you have perfected to grow your subscriber list quickly. That sound about right, Liz?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about all the things. We can obviously cater this a little bit more to the agency side of things.
Sure.
What I would love to know is what types of agencies are we really talking about here? Because there's obviously a million different types of agencies. So that would be really helpful. Yeah.
Okay, so the people who listen, who are on my email list and Facebook groups and all that fun stuff, they range anywhere between freelancer all the way up to SME agency size. Let me give you a definition of what that means. Freelancer is 0 to 100,000. Typically, it's them, maybe one contractor kind of thing. What's called a successful freelancer is the 100,000 to $250,000. It's like 100,000 to 250,000 K. They typically have a stable. They'll have 2, 3, maybe 4 part-time contractors, maybe one person, kind of their right-hand man or woman that helps them get it done. Okay. From there, they graduate into what's called the small agency. That's going to be the $250,000 up to about $2 million, somewhere in that ballpark. Obviously, all these numbers have a little bit of wiggle room depending upon how you got your business structured. Then you get to the small to medium agencies at 2 million up to about the 7 to 10 million. We literally have them all in between all the way through there. So basically anybody who is looking to take their freelancer business and actually establish a freelancer, I don't want to say hobby, it's more than a hobby, but it is definitely, you're working very hard, but you're trying to turn this into a legit sustainable business. Now you're trying to kind of cross what's called in business terms, cross the chasm, right? That's who we deal with. And that's who's going to be listening to this. So.
Awesome. So the strategies for agencies when it comes to YouTube for each of those different stages of growing your agency are going to be slightly different. Obviously, when people first get into the YouTube world, one of the things that they don't understand is that YouTube is a search engine. It's actually the second largest search engine in the world, and it is owned by Google, which is the first largest. So it works very different.
I've heard that YouTube's going to overtake Google in search and results here in the next 10, 12 years. Is that right?
Well, hey, I mean, that's already kind of happening. Google is now featuring YouTube videos on first page Google search results. So the stuff that we teach is to help people really master YouTube SEO and keyword strategy to pull in targeted organic leads to their business, to their sales funnel. So essentially, you know, if you go do a Google search, now what they're doing is they're sometimes featuring like 3 to 4 different videos right there at the top.
Right.
So it used to be really challenging. Yeah, it's very challenging to actually rank first page on Google, especially for agency related search terms, because typically if you're an agency or in digital marketing, you know about SEO, and there's a lot of other people that have come before you that all know about SEO, and so it's very competitive. But the thing is, YouTube gives you the competitive edge because now if you do your SEO correctly on YouTube and you have really high quality content over there, you can actually not just take over first page rankings on YouTube search results, but also on Google, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. And that's actually one of the reasons that I've decided I built out my agency coaching business, and I focused on 2 primary channels for leads in the first couple of years while I'm dialing in my messaging and my product line. And I left podcasts, YouTubes, and Instagram wide open because I knew that the majority of our audience would be on those 3 platforms. And I've got the organic SEO for my domain name ranking like a boss all over the place. But when I started looking at this, I noticed YouTube, and it has been for a few years. This isn't new. It's been doing it for a little while now. But YouTube, man, if I can really get some good high-ranking SERPs on YouTube, that can really help to blow up organic for your TLD, your top-level domain name for your agency. Not to mention the actual seeing you on video and getting a relationship through video and having the high ranks in YouTube as well. So that's actually one of the big reasons I'm doing it. That's probably one of the big reasons we're on this call right now. So.
Yeah, last I checked too, video itself, marketers who use video in their marketing strategy convert on average 49% more than people who don't. And over 80% of online consumer traffic now is video traffic. So regardless of whether you choose YouTube as your video platform of choice, video in general is one of the best ways to market and promote your business, and also to be discovered. But the thing that really differentiates YouTube, other than away from platforms like Facebook or Instagram, which are more social media based platforms, is that it has that search capability. So if you're looking to do the work once and have it be a lead generator for you forever versus having to manage expensive ad campaigns or constantly be posting organic content on social platforms that are all timeline bound, YouTube could be a really great option for you.
Yeah, and I'm a sports guy, or fishing and hunting. I'm an old country boy, right? So I like to use those kind of weird little analogies, I guess. But it's kind of like, if you're fishing, if you ever do any fishing out there, the more lines you got in the water, the more chance you have to catch dinner that night, right? And so YouTube allows you to put a lot of those lines in the water. So, for example, this year I'm going to produce over 100 YouTube videos in the next 6 months, and each one of them are going to be very agency centric. They're going to be, between 1 to 2 minutes. It's going to be short, sweet, to the point kind of thing. But each one of those will probably drive over the next 10 years one client into my basket, at least, probably more than that. But so every time I do one of those, I'm going to optimize it out, and I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to build up my subscriber base and just get it rocking out. And so, like I said, every single time I do one of those videos, it's going to cost me. I have a little production process behind me here, so I've kept costs pretty low, but it's probably going to cost me, I don't know, $100 to $200 per video to get done professionally. I mean, like, good, everything's going to look sharp, but that's perfectly fine, because over the long haul, that one video is easily going to get a 10x return. So it sounds to me like YouTube, kind of like Google, is more of a long game strategy than it is for a quick, like you said, turn on the ads and Facebook. You get a lot of inquiries, a lot of tire kickers, but you don't get buyers a lot of times. You have to nurture them over time. But with YouTube, you can get that SERP in there, that high-ranking SERP, and that thing's going to sit there and work for you for the next 10 years, right?
Yeah, and the cool thing about it too is
right there.
Because it's organic and because people can find you 24/7, 365 around the globe.
On the planet, right?
Right. It is
right?
It really is for people who are ready to establish an organic traffic foundation in their business, or entrepreneurs who are ready to build a lead gen asset. So it's not so much, if you're in the very, very beginning stages of the hustle and trying to get your first couple clients, I wouldn't recommend diving into YouTube just yet. Because it is a significant time investment. So make sure that you have at least a couple clients under your belt. And then when you're ready to scale that and have a lead generating asset that works for you around the clock all over the world, then YouTube would be the next move, in my opinion.
Definitely. In my agency, actually, the agency I sold is, that get you where, there's a painting up there my mom did for me a long time ago. And one of the first things I studied was SEO. And golly, I'm dating myself. This 15, 17 year long time, in digital times, like Stone Age, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, as my daughter would say, you about old as dirt. I'm like, yeah. We used to play together
Back in
as kids.
the MySpace days, or
right? No, it's pre-MySpace. Come on now, I'm pre-MySpace anyway. But I tell you what, I focused heavily on the SEO. At the time I was doing it, I didn't realize the value of it. I have to be candid with that. When I was doing it, and I mean, I'm going back to 2005, 6, 7, 8 kind of thing. But holy cow, with me putting the blogs out and getting the different content out and getting most importantly, at that time, backlinks and content and backlinks at that time were dominant. Got a lot of other factors playing a role now. But at that time, it was predominantly backlinks and content. And I just wound up getting backlinks from like Infusionsoft.com, major domain names. Man, I'm telling you, I dominated the search results for about any damn thing, and I mean, it fed us. I built a multiple seven-figure agency on the back of organic SEO, referral partners, different things like that, right? Because those are a long-term strategy, and I knew I was going to be in it for a long time, and I was going to be in it to win it, right? And so that's what I did. It's interesting to hear you say this, because it's in today's world, it's kind of what I call sizzle, not steak, and everybody's always trying to look, the perfect selfie and trying to do everything, the get rich quick, the easy way. Honestly, they're trying to cut corners, right? And that's, I've never seen a successful business owner long term that's been in business for a while, happy life, the whole thing, that did it by cutting corners constantly. You have to put in the work.
It's true. It's definitely a long-term commitment to run a business. Yes. The one thing that I want to speak into on that, though, actually,
it better be.
I have 2 case studies that I want to share. Number one is, a lot of people get really lost in the YouTube world thinking I need to have 100,000 subscribers and my videos need to be getting tens of thousands of views to actually generate revenue for my company. But that is a false belief. We had, for example, someone in the YouTube Marketing Mastery Facebook group last week, just by applying some of the free strategies that we teach in there, put up his first video, got 9 views on the video, just 9, but one of them turned into his very first customer, which is super cool. So don't believe the hype that it's all about vanity metrics or looking perfect or having this, this beautiful, like, wow, there's such an influencer. Wow, what an, that person must be an expert because they have a huge audience. It's not necessarily true. If you're using YouTube for business and for marketing purposes, the views and the subscribers don't matter as much as the targeting around the keywords that you're going after to make sure that the search intent is there. Sorry, I'll just finish this.
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
It's okay. If you're an agency owner, obviously you're looking for a very particular type of client. So that particular type of client may not be in the mass volume. We've had people come to us with channels with subscribers over 500,000 subscribers, but they didn't have the business model in the back end. And so they've secretly like confessed to us like a dirty little secret. They're like, oh no, Liz, I'm not making any money, even though I have this huge audience. So I think it's really important to understand that distinction for sure.
I agree. And you a while ago, I think you said something. I think you used the term multiplier, and I feel like YouTube and the videos that you produce for YouTube, they really are a multiplier. And the reason I feel that way, I would love to get your opinion on this, is because again, you create it one time, it's going to work for a long time. So, case in point is I just did an interview with a guy named Craig, and different. I'll have all these podcast digital assets that if anybody wants to learn about how I believe on any topic going forward, I will have hundreds of these podcasts and hundreds of the YouTube videos, and I would just easily be able to send out a link. Hey, quick, listen to this real quick. This is what I believe, and so therefore that asset is working for me without me having to actually do anything. So that's how you multiply yourself: is you create assets that work for you and deliver results for you without you having to put your time in all day, every day. Videos on YouTube is one of the most powerful ways to do that, in my opinion. And would you agree with that, I think?
Oh, for sure. Hands down. No question.
Yeah.
There's one last case study that I'll share with you guys is so my first channel is in the health and fitness space for women, and it's now at 130,000 subscribers, but we monetized it right out of the gates because again, we were selling our own products and services on the back end. But one of the other ways that we monetized that channel was by doing brand deals and sponsorships once we got to a certain level of influence on the channel. And I'll never forget, we did an e-commerce product review for a natural birth control method for women. Obviously, perfect target market, perfect search intent. It was right in our wheelhouse. So we created this branded video where we talked about, how hormonal birth control affects the woman's body and this and that, and then told our own personal stories with this experience, and then shared what we were using, which is a product. Now, granted, we don't use products that we wouldn't actually use and endorse. We would never put that on there just because, they're paying us or anything like that. So it's important to be tasteful if you ever do get into the realm of brand deals and sponsorships. But what ended up happening with that particular video, we made one video, they paid us one time. It got, I think it was like 95,000 views or something, still gets views to this day because we did all the SEO for it. And this is now 4 years later, and that company is still generating leads from that one single video asset. So you really got to think about your video content as creating, essentially an organic ad where you can turn a viewer into a buyer and use keyword targeting to actually attract them so that they can search for you and discover who you are. And then from there, video is, it does the work for you. It's a way for people to know, like, and trust you without you actually having to pick up the phone or, be interacting with them in real time.
That's awesome. I think that's a perfect segue into the next question, though, right? So how to create, how to turn viewers or subscribers into buyers, right? So if you're going to pick the one or two or maybe two or three things that you'd recommend to everyone, what would they be? How do you go about monetizing your YouTube videos and things like that in the agency space?
Yeah, so in general, with any YouTube channel, there's 4 main ways to monetize. Number 1 is selling your own programs, services, products, etc. So for agencies, that would obviously be enrolling people into your services. Number 2 is through affiliate marketing. So if you have partner companies where, let's say, you don't have your full model built out yet, or this is a really, let's say if you're in the digital marketing space, even some of the big softwares and stuff like ClickFunnels or, whatever has an affiliate program, right? If you're an affiliate for them, you could do, an informational video that then promotes using your affiliate links. The third way is brand deals and sponsorships. So that's obviously not as relevant for agency model, but still, you never know. Like, you could also partner with some of those big brands too, just to have more visibility once you start building that influence on your channel. And then the last way is through AdSense revenue, which that's like it should be a cherry on top. It should never be the focus, because AdSense revenue is very up and down sometimes. If the algorithm changes or your views go down for whatever reason, that could be out the window. So that's kind of the order in which we recommend that people go about creating revenue from their channel. And the one thing that I will also add to that is when it comes to turning a viewer into a buyer, YouTube has so many cool features for conversion. So first and foremost, you need to make sure that you have expert positioning because you only get one chance to make a first impression. So make sure that your channel art includes, some image of you. A lot of people, especially agencies, they'll make, it all logo and it's very businessy. But people are not on YouTube because they want to be sold into a business. Okay. So You got to figure out how do we humanize this experience. A perfect example, I know you're familiar with the digital marketing, like digitalmarketing.com. They have Ryan Deiss as he's like the figurehead of
Mm-hmm.
digitalmarketing.com, and that was strategic because they knew that the brand itself could grow bigger just being digitalmarketing.com, because not everybody's going to like Ryan Deiss, but they also still have Ryan Deiss in a lot of the videos because he's like a really likable guy. He's fun, he's cool, he presents really valuable information. So it's important to have both. Don't just stay on the side of we're just a company. People on YouTube want to learn from other people.
It's funny you bring that up because when I came out, I took the same branding mindset I had in building my agency into this coaching business, and it was wrong. And just I'll just throw that right out here. So over there, I built the brand Get You Wired, and everybody knew who it was. I was CEO, but the brand was so much more important than CEO. That was the most important aspect, was the actual brand. Now I get over to the coaching side of things, and I'm building out a brand, and I realized that there's a disconnect. They're like, almost, but am I going to be learning from you? There were all these kind of questions about, am I going to be learning from you? You could tell that they wanted to know more about me, the coach, right? So I literally just rebranded. I kept the primary brand, marketing agency coach. I just put the tagline, your marketing agency coach, and then put my signature, Lee Golf, above it. And now I have my headshot and my YouTube channel art. I just updated it, no joke, last week or 2 weeks ago, to have my face on there because of exactly that. I wish I'd have talked to you sooner. Would have saved me a lot of headache because I just figured that out. But they do, especially in the coaching space, they want to have that personality there too. I mean, and it's digital marketer, not digital marketing, but digitalmarketer.com. And so they keep Ryan as the front end face, right, of that brand, because they do want to know that there's one person there that actually is overseeing the quality and the content and the deliverable and all that fun stuff. It's interesting you say that. So that's very good advice. I wish I'd have heard that one a couple of years ago. So.
Yeah, I mean, it does wonders for your expert positioning as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you have some human element in your channel art. Also make sure that you are including, what's your publishing schedule? When should people come back? Are you telling people that there is an opportunity to come back and it's not just like a flash in the pan, like every once in a while there's a YouTube video? That will also help to increase subscribers if people know that you're being consistent with your content production. On that note too, sometimes people get a little bit overwhelmed because YouTube obviously takes a lot of time to generate and create those videos, but you got to get yourself into the routine of batch filming. To be able to keep up with, a weekly schedule or whatever it is for you. Okay. And then the last thing
I'm doing that with my podcast right now. I'm batch recording right now. This time I'll get like 15 of them in the books, so.
Yeah, always buy yourself some leeway. You should always be, at least a month ahead of schedule when it comes to your video content. And again, batch filming doesn't need to be as complicated as it sounds. You literally just sit down and spend one day out of every month filming the next 4 to 5 videos for the next month. That's like bare minimum. Some people go, they'll spend 2 days a month and they'll film the entire quarter, right, of content. Right. But the thing
that's
is,
what I do. I do this the third Thursday of May, every third Thursday of every single month, I record. Like today, I'm recording 6 podcasts, right? I got another one Thursday because he's a high level VIP, couldn't make it on Monday. But that's exactly what I do once a month. I'll get like 6 or 7 of them knocked out. So that's really good. So I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. Interrupted again. That's good stuff, though. I want to get in there and say something.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, these are like some of the most basic things, but sometimes it helps to have somebody remind you. So the last thing that I would say to add into your channel art is we teach people the strategy of creating 3 channel pillars. Again, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And so it's really, really critical in the first 2 seconds of someone landing on your channel, if they do discover you through keywords, that they understand this channel is going to be covering topics around 3 different topics, right? So like whatever those things are, we don't recommend going into like 10 different topics because it just gets overwhelming and people get confused and then you're not like directly focusing on a particular segment of the marketplace. Right. So for example, on our women's health channel, the parent category was women's health, but then our 3 channel pillars were fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. So within that, we can then break that down into playlists, series, etc. So we never get off the rails in what we're very clear on the 3 different categories that we're providing value for the marketplace. For an agency, it might be like marketing, sales, and fulfillment. So see if you can create that silo structure for your video content and then make sure that's really clear in your channel art. This is who we help and this is how we help them. As far as other conversion opportunities to turn a viewer into buyer on YouTube, you also have the opportunity to include channel links in your channel art section. So what we recommend, typically one of the biggest mistakes we see, especially for somebody that's brand new or who is using YouTube for marketing purposes, is that they'll put every single social platform, they'll put LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc., all in those channel links section, thinking like, well, yeah, if they want to learn more, this is, let's just throw it all out there and invite them to every dinner party we've ever had. Right?
Right. I think I did that. I think I'm guilty of that. I gotta go. I want to go know now. Want to go look. I think I did that. Anyway, keep going. I need to know what not to do. So.
Yeah. So what I would recommend instead is taking away all other options other than the one specific directed user action you want the viewer to take. So if you want to book a call or have somebody submit an application or do a free consultation or whatever your sales funnel is, optimize your channel links for that one specific user directed action that you want them to take, and take away all the other distractions, because when people have 100 options, they typically take none of them. If they have one option and that's it, send them right down the pipeline. So that's like, from a branding perspective, your channel homepage, just make sure it looks really clean, really pristine, and it's communicating in a clear and simple way. Here's who we help and here's how we help them. And then take away all the other distractions from where they could, because you don't want to get into the practice of bouncing someone from YouTube to Instagram to Facebook to all these platforms that you don't actually own. We want to optimize them all so that they're sending people to the one thing we do own, which is either our email list or our sales calls funnels and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's one little thing. So with the profile picture, a lot of agencies make this mistake too, of putting their logo in the profile picture. Again, same thing here. Your profile picture is actually the thing that shows up the most across the platform. It's on each video, it's on your channel, it's in the comment section. It's the brand asset that shows up the most. So highly recommend, Neil Patel is a really great example of very, very good channel branding, but highly recommend having a human face there, because again, people want to interact with other people. The last thing that I'll say from a branding perspective is obviously you want to have thumbnail design. Thumbnails are like your like a mini billboard for video, a mini billboard ad for your video. So you want to make sure that you're including, very easy to read text. You're using the same 2 to 3 colors. Don't, have a whole mishmash of different things. Make it look professional, especially as an agency, where people who hire agencies are looking for professional quality work. So spend some time on your branding for sure. And then when it comes to each specific video, there are certain things that you can do and certain tools on YouTube that can help to get people, again, off the YouTube platform and into your ecosystem. So one of the things that you should always be doing is giving a verbal call to action at the end of the video, because if somebody watched the entire video, one of my favorite formulas for this is Frank Kern's, if you like this thing, then you're really going to like this thing over here. Click the link in the description box below to get it, or to download it, or to book your call, or whatever it is, right? So make sure you're including that verbal call to action. You can actually seed that, once or twice in the video, but for sure put that at the end of the video, because again, if somebody made it through the entire video, they're clearly interested in what you have to say. Another thing that you can do is, once I believe it's over 100 subscribers, info cards are really, really good for conversions from YouTube, which is the little eye that pops up in the top right corner of the screen. That is a feature that you do need to have a certain number of subscribers to unlock, but once you do, you can link to your other videos. You can also link to an associated website, and you can poll your audience. So you can actually start to interact with your audience through the info card feature, which is a really, really awesome, very useful tool. Beyond that, obviously, links in the description of your video. You can send people pretty much to anywhere you want, as long as it doesn't violate the YouTube's community guidelines. So links in the description. And then beyond that, just making sure that you're paying attention to what are people asking for in the comments. The last conversion point that I will share, as far as getting people off of YouTube and into your marketing and sales funnels, is pinned comments. This is a feature that YouTube added sometime early last year, where if you comment on your own video, you can actually pin it to the top. So that can be an invitation to, and it jumps to the top of the comments. So if you don't want to, rely on somebody like opening up your description, because YouTube does truncate after, I believe it's 150 characters of your description, it will truncate the rest of it. So if you have a really long video description and your lead magnet links are all at the bottom, you can actually bypass that by just leaving a pinned comment like, hey, here's the thing I referenced in the video, click here to get it.
That's cool. They allow that in Facebook groups as well. You can mark it as an announcement and then pin it to the top. So that's super cool. I did not know you could do that in YouTube. That's very, very cool. Okay, we got one last question I want to get to. I think it's going to take a little while, so I want to make sure we have enough time for it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3 promo techniques that you have perfected over time to grow your subscribers. So you were talking about how you get the info cards at 100, and I think at 1,000 and 4,000 minutes of watched, you get into the AdSense world, and there's little milestones, right? But everybody ultimately wants to build a subscriber base, right? Me, I want 1,000 subscribers within the next 12 months, and I'll get it, okay? But it's got to get out there and make it happen, right? And so that's my goal. That's my KPI. That's what I will hit between whatever May, whatever the hell it is now, June now to June next year, I'll get 1,000 subscribers. But what are your top 3 techniques on to get qualified, targeted subscribers?
Yeah, so we have an entire keyword research process that we go through before we ever even hit record on any single video. So you cannot skip the YouTube SEO strategy of identifying keywords that have high search volume and low competition, low enough that you can actually stand a chance of ranking on the first page of YouTube search results. So when it comes to the actual videos that you're creating, there are really 3 different types of videos that a really good channel has. And this is coming straight from YouTube. They did a cross-section analysis of the thousands of the fastest growing channels on the platform, trying to study and understand what made these channels so effective. And what they found was that there's 3 different types of videos on each of the most highly engaged and fastest growing channels from a subscriber perspective. And so I'll just break those down real quick. Number 1 is hub content. And this is the mistake that a lot of people make when they're brand new. They just go straight into hub content. Now, hub content is known as your weekly scheduled programming. It's like if you were to think about having a YouTube channel as having your own TV show, it's the thing that comes out every week. It's the thing that you're known for. And it's really designed for people who already know who you are, right? So an example of hub content would be, it would be something that you, didn't do keyword research on, first and foremost. Something also maybe like a repurposed podcast episode or Facebook Live or whatever. It still has value, but it's really not designed to pull in new users. So a lot of people make the mistake of just jumping right into, well, this is what we do every day, so let's just put it on there, or we're doing this anyway, so we'll just upload it to YouTube just because. But I don't recommend starting there. It's not that you can't do that. There's a much better place to start, and we'll get to that at the very end. So the second piece of video content that all these good channels have is 1 to 2 times a year they'll release what's known as hero content. So hero content is designed, again, for people who already know who you are, to create an emotional connection with the person on the other side of the screen. So this can be something that's your stance, or putting your flag in the ground on something that maybe is polarizing. It could also be an emotional story-based telling, or storytelling, more emotionally based type of video piece. Good examples of creators of hero pieces are like Prince EA or Jay Shetty. Like every single video that they have is designed to be very relatable to a specific problem or challenge that humans experience. People relate a lot to that, and they can identify with these hero concepts. And so those tend to be more viral, more shareable, right? And they're more personal. They're designed, again, to create an emotional connection with the viewer. And the last type of content that all of these fastest growing channels have is help content. And this is where you should start. You should create as much help content as you possibly can. We recommend in the beginning aiming to create anywhere from 5 to 10 help videos first before you do anything else. And these are the videos that you sit down, and I always say, if you want to drink water, go to the pond. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't hit record until you've done the research. You know what people are actually searching for, because the difference of 1 or 2 words could mean the difference of tens of thousands of searches per month, right? So we obviously don't want to be creating help videos around search terms that have 0 searches a month. Yeah. Right? Totally. Hello, we're spending all this time creating videos. We
right?
want people to see it.
The point is to get traffic. Exactly. Yeah.
Also, if you think about it, if you were to land on a channel that just had a bunch of repurposed podcast episodes or whatever, versus you land on a channel that they're speaking into the same things, but this other channel has a digital help library, if you will, of the top 10 questions that have been just keeping you up at night, which one are you going to stick around for? The one that's just, doing their thing and kind of is like, hey, look at me, or the one that's like, here's so much value that it answers every single question that you have. Here you go, all for free. They're going to stick around with the one that has this digital help library. So start with help content first and do the keyword research process that we teach inside of the YouTube growth course. It will literally step-by-step process show you how to use the different YouTube plugins like vidIQ and TubeBuddy, along with keywords everywhere, so you can start to learn, okay, even if you're brand new to SEO, you have no idea what you're doing, it will literally give you the templates and the spreadsheets on how to actually keep the data organized, what metrics to look for when it comes to search volume. For example, with search pool, which is how many videos already exist on that topic, you definitely would not want to be going after terms that have 10 million videos already in search results, because this would be very hard to rank. But if something has under 100,000 search videos already existing for that, obviously it's going to be a lot easier to rise to the top of a search pool of 100,000 videos versus 10 million. So there's specific metrics and specific data points that you want to be looking at. And we do teach that inside the YouTube growth course. So that's the first tip, is don't skip the YouTube SEO process. Start with help content. And then eventually over time, you can transition into including more of that hub content. Because again, help content is there for searchability and for discoverability. It doesn't make any sense to create videos that nobody can actually find. Make sense?
Yeah, to me it does. I hope it does to the audience. That's for sure. Yeah. So I will say I'm doing good so far. I've got 1 and 3 for sure. Okay, the hero content, I think I do that organically, but I need to need to do it with intent. It's just a big difference, right? So in other words, and that's the hard part, by the way, out there. You might get lucky and do a killer video every once in a while, but to do it with intent every week, in and out, that's the hard. That's hard. That's difficult to pull that off. And so I've got the help video process done. And I've got the hub content process done. I got a lot of that. Those two are going to be very easy. I've been working on those for a while. But the hero one, you got me thinking about that. I'm about to think it through for a little bit. I like that kind of an emotional, polarized kind of thing. I can be a very polarizing figure, so I don't think it's going to be hard. I just got to figure out how to do it. So that's good. Those are awesome, outstanding content. So, Liz, you're awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to, any other wisdom nuggets you'd like to share out there before we start to shamelessly plug who you are and what you can do and how you can help them? So,
yeah, one last thing that I'll say from a promotion standpoint, obviously, if you're creating these videos and you really want them to go the distance, meaning, you spend all this time creating the videos, you do all the keyword research process ideally, and then it lives on your YouTube channel. But we also want to make sure that those YouTube videos are not just living on the YouTube channel. You can actually repurpose them throughout all of your marketing efforts. So one thing that I really recommend is to also embed those YouTube videos into a permanent place on your website where it can live on, your blog or whatever, create a page for it and SEO the page as well. And that's how you really start to work with YouTube and Google to take over the search rankings on both platforms. Give your YouTube videos a permanent place to live, because the thing is too, YouTube doesn't care if your views come directly from the YouTube platform or from being embedded in a website. So the last thing I'll say on that is you can also take those blog posts, because again, you're putting intention into these videos. They're specifically speaking into pain points and objection points that your ideal customer has. So having them live permanently on your website and then feeding those posts on your website into your email nurture sequences is really like the trifecta of long-term YouTube lead generating asset building.
I am 100% all over that. One thing I'm definitely going to be repurposing the hell out of mine, but that's, I would do that anyway. But what I didn't think of was actually this pulling it on your website, because again, what they're going to do is get another URL pointing back to YouTube and YouTube pointing back to yours. It's going to show a good relationship, relative context. Duh. Now that you said it, I'm like, duh. So let me ask you one more question. Does YouTube have an RSS feed? So therefore you can set up like different playlist or channel, a different, what do they call it? A playlist, is that right?
Yeah, YouTube allows you to do playlists where you can organize your videos.
Well, can you get an RSS feed for that one playlist?
So the best way to do that is they have the notification bell on YouTube. So when you're doing your call to action, like, hey, if you like this video, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe with the notification bell. That notification bell YouTube will literally email people every time you upload new content.
Well, yeah, that cool. Definitely, yeah, that's super cool. Matter of fact, my 11-year-old daughter started a YouTube channel. She taught me that one. But point, which I thought was really cool. I was like, get it, girl. Anyway, that's cool. That's cool. So now what I was thinking is this, though, is like, in other words, I love having like a page on my site but if I could set up an RSS feed to where every time I syndicate it to YouTube, it automatically adds to the library on my page. Can I do that?
Do you mean like every time you upload a video,
when I publish when I publish video a video to YouTube to a specific playlist, so let's just say it's my help videos, right? Can I have a dedicated page on my website that pulls only the help videos in, and every time I put it on YouTube through an RSS feed, it syndicates it over to that page on my website? Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, you could set up an app in ifthisthenThat.com that would just create, if you're using WordPress, it would just create a new post. And then, there's other services too that you can use, like rev.com will actually transcribe all of your videos. So you could pay them to actually have it transcribed, and then take the transcription of the video and just put it onto I'm sure there's ways to automate this entire process. But as far as like when you upload a video, if you wanted to automatically create a blog post, we personally use ifthisthenThat.com.
Yeah, no, we're going to be doing the blog post around the videos. Yeah, it's just for having a long library page, but whatever. I'll get my tech people and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be.
There's got to be. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
there's got to be a way to make
for
it
sure.
happen. So,
Embed
all right, right. Zapier and if then, there's got to be something else. All right, Liz, this is outstanding. I tell you what, this is definitely going to make the cut, some of the top ones, because these are some seriously good nuggets for anybody wanting to kind of set up a good YouTube channel and monetize it specifically for their agencies. A couple ideas came to my mind as we were going through this, specifically how to be used for agencies. I know that whenever I was, one of the big deals in the agency is the ability to cross-sell, okay? And so, of course, you get them in on a website redesign or whatever it might be. And from there, you need to be able to really kind of cross-sell them into SEO or video, whatever. There's so many different ways to cross-sell. One of the more effective ways we did it at my agency is we created a video series that introduced them to the CEO, director, the COO, whatever, and all the way down to everybody in each department, design, automation, programming, project management, you name it. So that helped a lot, because whenever we brought on a new client or even a prospect, we would send them through this and it would teach them about who I am in all the different departments. Well, in all the departments, hi, I'm a designer. I work on your logos. I help you get your business cards. It lists everything the top 10 services they work on. Well, by default, they'd hear, oh, great, they do business cards. Or they do, whatever it is. And so they would ask their project manager in the next call, hey, I heard in this video that Lee said this or whatever it was. Can we do that? So doing that kind of thing, in other words, this I think would be hub content. Is that right? That'd be kind of fall up under the hub content.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept, because that's more about for somebody who already is a customer. You know what I mean?
Well,
you're using.
Yes and no, because we used to send our prospects through this as well. And a lot of times we would get a prospect that would come to us for a website, and it's called the 30 to 45 day nurture campaign. So we deliver the lead magnet. Now we're just educating and indoctrinating them to our brand. And so they would start to go through this thing and think that we weren't qualified to do this project because we didn't have this or this or this, right? And I'm telling you, that damn campaign helped out tremendously when it came to cross-sell and closing deals. So.
Yeah, so I would definitely still keep that. Personally, I would keep, this is just my opinion, test it out. The only way to really know what works for your business is to test it out. But if it were me, based on my experiences, I would keep that as a nurture campaign. I would not keep that on the front end of my YouTube channel. Because again, with YouTube, it's forward facing. So the whole intent of YouTube is to get people off of YouTube and onto your list. And then if you can nurture them on the back end, and if it already works on the back end, you have proof of concept, I would just keep doing what's working. But if you did want to experiment and test it out and see if that did end up generating leads for you, then yes, that would fall into the hub style content.
Okay, that's why I asked. I figured you'd have the answer, right? So, all right, Liz, shameless plug. Where do they find you? You put your Facebook out here. Do you have a URL, or what's your YouTube channel? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can find me everywhere at Liz Does Video, lizdoesvideo.com. And if you're interested in the YouTube growth course to learn that YouTube SEO process and really figure out, okay, which keywords should we create videos around, you can find that at gethelpwithyoutube.com.
Okay, great. And afterwards, of course, Liz is going to send me links to these case studies and all these URLs, and we'll put them in the case notes to make sure that they're in there for you in case you are interested in talking to Liz. Liz, thank you so much for coming on and taking time out of your valuable day. And any parting thoughts before we close down?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you for having me, and good luck in everyone's YouTube success. Last thing I'll say is anyone can be successful on YouTube. And again, don't focus on the vanity metrics, because if you're using it for business purposes, views, subscribers, all that kind of stuff, it helps with positioning. But at the end of the day, it's not the most important thing when it comes to your company revenue. So stay committed, stay consistent, and keep going. Just keep going.
Love it. Thank you so much, Liz. All right, everybody, you guys have a wonderful day out there. I'm going to wrap it up here with Liz. Liz, you stay tuned. We're going to wrap this thing up offline here in a second. So as always, you can find me on Facebook, Marketing Agency Success GPS, and of course my YouTube channel. And we don't even have Instagram set up yet. That's pretty sad, isn't it? Pretty sad.
All good things in time.
All good things. Exactly. I'm a slow roll. I'm a slow burn kind of guy. So, all right, Liz, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, let's get you over to the next episode. If you have not already, make sure to subscribe to my podcast. And if you are not following us on YouTube or in our private Facebook group, make sure to get over there and check those out as well. And of course, we're also available, always available at marketingagencycoach.com. Look forward to seeing you at all those channels, and I hope you're having a wonderful day.